All right, going right back to Dr. Jerome Corsi, author of the book, Where's the Birth Certificate? You know, you look at Donald Trump and you study how media works. We had this stewing birther movement gaining steam every month, the polls going up and up and up to where a majority of Americans, Republicans and Democrats, questioned his provenance. And that was a big problem. So Trump comes out, builds it to a head, and then right as it comes to a head, there's the big media spectacular to discredit the whole thing. And then we saw the next big stunt a few weeks later to then wipe that controversy off the map. Obama daringly gets Osama bin Laden. He's just so wonderful. And then that launches the next phase of starting a war with Pakistan. And the fact that Trump comes out and says, Ron Paul can't win. And look at these Republicans, they're pathetic. And the fact that he's given 2-1 to Democrats and hangs out in New York with Bloomberg and Schumer. I mean, it's so obvious that this guy, from my perspective, is a ringer. And you've got this government money going to NBC and then right into Trump's pocket and that ridiculous preening peacock show, The Apprentice. And then he's on the phone with you wanting to know what you're going to do next. Very bizarre, Jerome Corsi. I mean, if you're a discredited kook and he's been discredited, you think he would be fighting to continue to expose, but instead he wants to lay there like a possum.
Well, I said to Trump today on the telephone, I said, look, get involved. If you want people to believe that, you know, you're still on the side of disbelieving Obama, then ask for authentication. Nobody's seen the original document. In a court of law, the best evidence would not be this electronic birth certificate the White House released. Electronic birth certificates didn't even exist in 1961. The best evidence is in the vault in the Department of Health in Hawaii, the original birth certificate, if it exists. And we can't see that. We can't get it subjected to forensic analysis. Said Mr. Trump pressed that case. He seemed uninterested. He said, you know, if it got to be an issue again, he would jump back in. I said, well, Mr. Trump, jump back in now. And, you know, he said, well, do you have any mainstream media supporting it? I said, you know, as far as I'm concerned, Mr. Trump, I've run these campaigns before when I did Unfit for Command with John O'Neill, the Swiftboat Vets, published by myself, Obama Nation, 2008. It was #1 bestseller for a month. Didn't have a lot of support then. New York Times ran a front-page article blasting the book. I said, I'm not counting on any mainstream media, and I'm not expecting to get invited to the White House Christmas party. But said, Mr. Trump, neither should you be expecting to get invited to the White House Christmas party. Get out there and pound this issue if you want people to believe that you're really on the side of wanting the truth and asking for where's the birth certificate. Go on the record. You don't believe that this is legitimate, say it's a fraud. He wouldn't do it. He was unenthusiastic and not responsive when I made those suggestions.
Well said. For me, the biggest piece of evidence here, and I know as a
also, Alex, he asked me to call him before we made our next move so he'd know what we were doing. I mean, the whole call was, what are you up to? And please tell me first before you do it. Now, I mean, I'm happy to talk to Trump. I'm happy to tell him what I'm doing.
Did he comment on the fact that you've called him out?
No, he never made a comment about it. Didn't say a word.
But you brought that up to him.
Well, I didn't say I'm out there saying it. I made the charge to him. I said, Mr. Trump, if you don't get out, I said, Donald, really, we're kind of on a first-name basis at this point. I said, Donald, look, if you don't get out there and start doing this, nobody's going to believe that you're really opposing Obama. It looks like you're supporting Obama. And I told him that even with, I saw him on Fox News, I believe it was yesterday, Trump is saying, attacking the Republican candidates, saying he's going to get back in the race if the Republicans keep with such lousy candidates. I said, that sounds like Obama's line. Are you feeding Obama's line to the American people? He said, well, they are lousy candidates. I said, look, if you're going to attack the other Republicans, you're not going to get anywhere convincing people that you want to run as a Republican. Trump said, well, should I run as an independent? I said, Mr. Trump, if you run as an independent, you're going to 100% convince everybody that you're in cahoots with Obama, trying to split the vote of the Republicans so that the Obama wins.
Look, that casino owner, that good old boy, good fella, knows exactly.
Of course.
Exactly what he's doing. Now, this was a short segment, long segment coming up. And I want to preface this question now and then come back and have you answer it. For me, I think one of the biggest pieces of evidence you've got of this being fraud is not just the Kenyan government saying their records were tampered with criminally and expunged on Obama, and that their intelligence agency does have intel that he was born there. Bigger than that is that you were told 3 weeks before by a source inside the government of Hawaii that it wasn't there, now it's there. And you say you have the email evidence with Joseph Farah telling him that. That's not giving up a source. You need to release all that. We'll be right back. Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are here live. Back Sundays 4 to 6 p.m. Central. And if you believe that Obama is telling us the truth about his true identity and his history, we know he's been caught in lies repeatedly. And I guess you want to buy some oceanfront property in Arizona. To quote George Strait, we're going back to Dr. Jerome Corsi, author of Birth Certificate. Where's the birth certificate? Here in just a moment. And in closing here with the plugs, remember the alternative media is financed by your support. The establishment has done everything they can to kill this book because where there's smoke, there's fire. And this book deals with his entire bizarre background and all of the weirdness and just the tranny nannies, all the different names, the different daddies. It's now come out that his purported dad... the State Department wanted to get him out of the country because of all the fake marriages and pregnancies and women, and he looks nothing like his father. Dr. Corsi's broken all that down. The book, Where's the Birth Certificate? The case that Barack Obama is not eligible to be president. And remember, I'm nonpartisan. I don't like Bush. I don't like Obama. I don't like any of these New World Order corporate frontmen. The point is, this guy's got something he's hiding, and he's got that snake coiled up around him with this whole con on the public with Donald Trump. So I hope you get the book, Where is the Birth Certificate, at Infowars.com, and check out all the other books and videos we carry and the films that I produce. You can also call us toll-free to get it, 888-253-3139. Before you answer my big question, because I want to recap it for folks that just joined us, Dr. Corsi, where are you guys at WorldNet Daily, Joseph Farah? Where is WND.com with the economic warfare attack that the White House mouthpiece Esquire put out saying the book had been recalled, Farah had said it was all lies and discredited, and that everybody should send their books back and you'd give them their retail price back that would bankrupt you guys, to try to create a run on the bookstores of people demanding their money back so they pull the book. How badly economically has it hurt you guys? I mean, it was a #1 New York Times bestseller before it came out. How much damage has this done to the book?
Well, I think, first of all, the attack was vicious by Esquire, and it was intended to destroy the marketing of the book in the first hours. Esquire later said it's satire, and it wasn't very funny. And it certainly didn't appear as satire. It appeared as a news story, and you could reasonably read it and have been fooled by it. Some radio hosts that interviewed me were fooled by it and started out their interviews asking why we pulled the book. Look, WorldNet Daily is going to sue Esquire. Joseph Farah has announced that. So the economic damage had to have been important and severe. Certainly the intent to damage was important and severe. WorldNet Daily will do just fine. The book is selling, but we had to scramble very hard to reestablish the market and to reassure distributors that the book had not been pulled. The book is alive and well. It's out there everywhere in bookstores. All the electronic outlets are selling the book. It's still rated on Amazon.com. Take a look. It's out active all through the market. And it was a vicious attack by Esquire aimed at, I guess, projecting what the White House wanted to believe what was true. I think the White House hoped the book would be withdrawn, but I published this book with Joseph Farah because I knew he had the courage to keep the book out there. A mainstream media publisher, one of the big publishing houses that I published with big publishing houses before, the White House might have intimidated them by calling up and threatening not to give them access to authors or whatever to get a major publishing house to withdraw the book. But this case, I knew that there was no chance it would happen. Joseph Farah was as resolute as I am that the book is true. We still want to know where the birth certificate is, and we're taking every possible step to demonstrate Obama was not born in Hawaii. He was born in Kenya. I'm convinced of that now. And here you've got a situation where the birth certificate released by the White House is a fraudulent document, which means criminal fraud was committed in the White House. President Obama is personally identified in the chain of evidence, and he sent his lawyer out to get this document. President Obama showed up in the White House press room to say, here the document is. He's directly involved in the chain of evidence. And the White House, the future of the Obama presidency, will depend on that document remaining authentic. If it's proved, as I believe it will be, that the document's fraudulent, it's hard to see how the Obama administration will remain in office.
Well, this is only getting bigger, and people don't buy anything that the White House puts out there. And I know you're under such attack, Jerome, but you normally will tell folks what your dead reckoning says. But isn't it suspicious that right on the heels of them with the stunt birth certificate that is as phony as a $3 bill, and you're coming out with the evidence and going to file these criminal charges, that then magically they kill Osama bin Laden, but then the helicopter blows up, and eyewitnesses in Pakistan on national Pakistani TV say the SEALs got on the helicopter and it blew up, that it didn't blow up once on the ground, it blew up as they took off. I mean, that's this whole thing. You can just see the scripting, and the White House lying, saying they were in the Situation Room watching the raid, Hillary covering her mouth. They admit that was fake. They admit bin Laden didn't fight back, didn't use his wife, throw the body in the sea. Within minutes, they said, we have the DNA proof. It takes days to do it. I mean, Doc, do you not have some suspicions there, or are you not going to cross that bridge?
Well, I just haven't gone into the OBL situation. I've got my hands full with the birth certificate issue. But, what I'm going to comment on is that here for 3 years, Obama spent a couple $1 million with lawyers. He even moved his lawyer from Perkins Coie into the White House to be his White House counsel. And that, to me, is very suspicious, fighting the release of this birth certificate. And then a book is going to be published. If this document was available 3 years ago, why did we have to go through all this nonsense about the certification of live birth and the short form? The attorney, Robert Bauer, together with Anita Dunn, his wife, who was the attack dog against Fox and any other media that dared to raise questions about the Obama administration. They're now paid by the White House. Anita Dunn is gone. Bauer's still there under the government payroll, defending Obama in eligibility cases. And suddenly this document miraculously appears, long-form birth certificate, that Abercrombie, the governor in Hawaii, said wasn't there about 6 weeks ago. He couldn't find it. Well, that's where, to go to the comment you asked about, Alex, before the break, I got a call from one of my top intelligence sources in Hawaii that warned me that the document had been forged and inserted into the logbook in Hawaii. In fact, a person who was very connected in the department went in, related to the department, let's say didn't work for the department, but a source, let's say married to the department, went in and read us the document. I knew it was Kapiolani Hospital. I knew it was the doctor was named. I didn't know Dr. Sinclair's name. The person who went in and read it was so frightened by what was seen, they ran out of there about as fast as they could, but enough information came forward that we knew the document had been forged.
All right, let me stop you. This is such a big deal that I want to put the question back out there, and I'm not like the type of talk show host unless I really am, shocked, but I already knew about this info, so I'm not shocked. I've already, had the revelation. Now listen up. This is big. Folks, understand the magnitude of this. But all of that is a prerequisite here. You're somebody who's always very careful about what you say and do, going back for decades. You're somebody who really does do the research. You're coming out saying there's no doubt it's fraudulent. You're going forward saying you're going to attempt to file criminal charges on this. And you revealed here for the first time last week that you have a source who 3 weeks before the president went public, went in, was able to see it and said it wasn't there before, your source inside, your mole, it's been added now. You have the emails with Farah proving that these discussions went on. You can't give up the source, but you've got the proof with your Farah emails. And Farah says, what do we do? And you say, let's go ahead with it. This is exactly what we want, Joe. We've got him now.